Now most of you will probably have seen the gutting, cleaning and cooking video I done on rabbits, and if I've been asked once, I've been asked a dozen times would I do a similar one for wood pigeons. And I've been meaning to get to it for quite a while now, so after shooting 3 to 4 wood pigeons yesterday when out decoying, I decided to take a crack at it. Now, I'm not saying this is the only way of doing it or the best way of doing it, because everybody has their own way of doing this. This is just the way I do it. And I'll show you what I use. Firstly, you'll need some sort of bags, preferably bin liners, to put the waste in, the likes of the carcass, feathers, guts and so forth. You'll need a good sharp knife. This is one of the Frost Moira knives, and it's quite cheap, but it takes a very good edge and it's excellent for this sort of thing. You don't actually need a cutting board, but having a good clean cutting surface when you're working with raw meat is very handy. You'll need an empty container or a bowl, or as we say in Northern Ireland, a bowl, to put the breasts in so you can take them into the kitchen and give them a wash, of course. And if you're going to put them in the freezer, you'll need some sort of clean bag, like a freezer bag or that, to put them in. And a nice big tall bucket. Now, it's not easy to get in a big tall bucket like this, but it's very handy when it comes to plucking and so forth. And we'll show you how we get on now. Now, these are all mature birds that I have here. You can tell a mature wood pigeon because it's a nice big plump breasted bird. It has the white markings on the neck that a young bird doesn't have. It has a almost pinkish tint to its breast, which a young bird doesn't have also. And the feet have got a deep pinky colour to them as well, something the young bird also doesn't have. Wood pigeons also have the white markings down the outside edge of their wings. They're quite a colourful bird, like when you start to look at them. The amount of different colours, greys, blues, down to blacks, the white and almost a green tint to the side of the neck, the white bars on the wings again, pink on their feet and on their breast, and even the beak starts off with an orangey colour and goes to a deep pink, almost red. This bird was headshot with a 177 Bisley Magnum, and you can see the hole just above the beak and where it's come out again at the back of the head, so it was an instant kill. Our next step is to take your bin liner and line the inside of your bucket with it. Now, if you've ever tried plucking a pigeon and holding on to a plastic bag at the same time, this here will save you a lot of grief. Simply hold your pigeon down into the bucket slightly and pluck the feathers straight down into it. This will stop them from blowing all over the place and causing a mess. Now, I'm only after the breast meat here, so all I have to do is bare the breast up a wee bit so that I'll make it easier for me to cut the meat off, like so. Now, you could continue plucking this thing from one end to the other and end up with something that looks like a miniaturized chicken, but there isn't really much meat on the wings and the legs aren't really much better, so it's a lot of effort for very little reward in my view, but then again some people like them that way. What most people are looking for is this here, the breast meat, the two large muscles either side of the breastbone. Now, there's different ways to take this out. You can cut the whole breastbone out in one piece with the meat attached to it, or the other way I do it is to carefully cut both muscles away from the bone, and I'll show you how I do that now. Now, the skin on a pigeon is very thin, so you won't need to apply much pressure from a sharp knife to cut through it. Just draw the edge of the knife along the exposed edge of the breastbone. Once you're through it, start to peel it back. Work your fingertips in under it and expose as much of the meat as possible, pulling the skin out over the bird's abdomen and its shoulder. Once you've that part done, take your knife and cut down alongside the ridge and the breastbone till you feel the flat part of the bone in below it. Then with the point of the knife, cut up the way and then along the wishbone. Then peel the breast back and follow the flat part of the breastbone with the edge of the knife, paring the meat away as you go. Once you get down to the pigeon's shoulder, cut around the bone as best as possible. Don't try and cut through the bone. Until the meat comes away. Then do the same on the other side. If your knife's sharp, you won't have to apply much pressure. Again, just pare the meat off of the bone, following it with the edge of the knife. I'm being a wee bit fussy here as I'm trying to get as much meat off the bone as possible. That and I'm trying to change hands and so forth to enable the camera to see exactly what I'm doing, which is making it a little awkward for me. But once you've done a few of these, you'll soon get the hang of it. Throw your meat into the bowl to keep it clean. Now, you can hear that. That is the pigeon's breastbone, and it's a solid piece of bone. It starts off in a ridge and then flattens out over the pigeon's major internal organs, like the heart and the lungs. This is what your pellet has to work its way through if you take a heart and lung shot. So we'll take a look inside, and as you can see, that breastbone is well attached. So much so, I had to go to the kitchen and get a pair of good heavy scissors to cut it free. You can see the heart right in the centre here. The lungs aren't really visible, but they are that pinkish tissue either side of the heart. It sits right in the strongest part of the breastbone, so it's well protected. If you set another bird beside it, you can get a rough idea at your aiming point, if you want to take a heart and lung shot, that is. Another good place to examine is the bird's crop, which is where the bird stores its food before it travels down into its digestive system. Now this bird's crop's fairly empty, but I have seen them literally fit to bust. You can use this as a good indication on a shot bird to help find where the rest are feeding. For example, if it's full of beech mass, acorns, ivy berries, or anything else the birds might be eating. Don't be surprised either if you get the odd bird with a wee piece of lead shot just under the skin, as there's quite a few boys shooting at them this time of year. So long as it hasn't damaged the meat, it should be okay. Once you have all the birds breasted, take them into the kitchen and clean them up under some lukewarm water. Make sure you wash away any loose feathers, blood, dirt or grime. Then put them into a clean container. You'll also probably find that when you're washing them that there's a second piece of muscle that comes away from the first. This fries up nicely in the pan also. Well, that's them all washed and ready to be either frozen or cooked straight away. I wonder what the wee wifey's been cooking in the oven. Yummy.
Ah, it's still freaking hot.